I'm already a millionaire in my mind. I don't see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way a seed is called by its finished form, I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life and have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. My name is Julian Gordon, and I'm author of Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. After becoming a multimillionaire through real estate investing, I was moved by God at the beginning of the pandemic to share my money mindset that allowed me to quit my job in January of 2009 at the bottom of the last recession and achieve full financial freedom. I own my mental real estate before I own any physical real estate. This book is like some of your favorites: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and the Bible all in one. But the divine downloads and thoughts that are in here are 100% original and came for a 6-month period at the beginning of the pandemic. This book is normally $100 on Amazon if you went there right now, but I want to give you access to it for free by inviting you to our next reading group. Yes, the reading group is 100% free. Every weekday for 100 days straight, I'll be reading and discussing the 10 money commandments in the book that make money come to you in your life easily, more frequently, and abundantly. And it will take about 30 to 45 minutes as we read 3 to 5 pages per day until we finish the book and reprogram your mind around money. Why 100 days? Well, if you are 30 years old, you've lived for 10,950 days. And we have to deprogram and reprogram the negative, scarcity-based money mindset society has taught you. And I believe I can do that in just 1% of the time in about 100 days. I'm done with shelf help. You know, when you buy a book to change your life, but you never read it, it just sits on your bookshelf and collects a whole bunch of dust. We off that. When is the last time you had an author actually read their book to you out loud because they cared about you getting the information in your soul? I'm not just here to get this book in your hands. More importantly, I want to get it in your head and your heart, because that's where the real transformation occurs, in the conscious and the subconscious mind. As scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is not the type of book that you just read once. To renew the subconscious mind requires repetition over and over and over. So if you joined us last time, I encourage you to join us again. I myself have read this book over 10 times already. So click the link to join our next reading group, and when you sign up, I'm going to give you the first 2 chapters of the book for absolutely free on what is money and abundance is your birthright, so that you can start your journey to a more abundant life today.
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Thavian coming back to you with another reading of the Rich and Righteous. We're starting a new week. We're on day 19. Day 19 of the reading of the Rich and Righteous. If you're new, please like and check out the previous readings so you can get caught up. Our last reading was day 18, where we discussed the process where words create worlds, and they use examples of how Tupac and Biggie's words created the world that they were in, that ultimately came to their demise in death, because that's all that they talked about, spoke about, and rapped about was death. So their words created the world that they were in. That was day 18. So if you missed that, by all means, please go back and check that out. Right now, we're getting ready to get into day 19. We're still on money commandment number 4, how the rich and righteous speak about money. If you're new and you're not familiar with the money commandments, there are 10 money commandments that help us attract money. If you don't have the book, please check the link in the description section. Go ahead and order you a book, man. Even after this 100-day reading challenge, you will still want to have this book for peace of mind. Make sure you also document your takeaways after the reading. If you don't have any takeaways, that means you were not listening and you did not get anything out of the reading. So you either need to go back and read, go back and listen to Julian read out loud to you, so you can definitely get some takeaways. There are always takeaways from these readings. Don't want to waste any more time, man. Today is going to be a powerful one. The power of I am. Let's go ahead and get started.
And the chapter is called The Power of I Am. The Power of I Am. All right. Then Moses asked God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they asked me, what is his name? What should I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also told Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is how I am to be remembered in every generation. Exodus 3:13 through 15. Right? Exodus 3:13 through 15. We talked about I am in the context of your identity, but now I want to explore the power of I am as your word. When combined, I am are the two most powerful words in the English language because that is what God calls itself. Exodus 27 reads, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Reverend Ike, how many of you know about Reverend Ike? How many know about Reverend Ike? Type Rev Ike if you know about Reverend Ike. Type Rev Ike if you know about Reverend Ike. If you don't know about Reverend Ike, you better ask somebody. You better ask somebody. Okay? Reverend Ike said, I am is God. Listen to this. I am is God. Whatever you add after I am, you become. Whatever you add to I am shall be added unto you. That's why we are told in the commandments, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Every time you add something negative to I am, you take the name of the Lord in vain. I'm going to repeat it again. I am is God, right? Exodus 3:13 through 15 established that. Whatever you add after I am when you are speaking, you become. Whatever you add to I am shall be added unto you. That's why we are told in the commandment, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Every time you add something negative to I am, you take the name of the Lord in vain. You thought taking the name of the Lord in vain meant not saying Jesus or not in a bad sense or cursing God in a bad sense. No. Anytime you say, I am lazy, I am tired, I am broke, I am confused, I am sad, I am angry, I am blah 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 blah. I don't even want to add any more. Okay, I know I can deny all those things. I know the power of my mind, and my mind knows that I'm just saying that for teaching purposes. I'm not affirming any of those things. Anytime you add something negative after I am, you are taking the Lord's name in vain. This redefines what you thought it meant to take the Lord's name in vain. Okay? And it's typically when you put an emotion or an identity. I am a liar. I am a cheater. I am a murderer. I am a procrastinator. I am what's another identity? I am single. Like some of you can continue to affirm that. And I tell single moms all the time, what you talking about? Stop affirming that I'm a single mom, right? Because then what does that do? That only projects back to the universe that that is who I want to be. Now, if you want to be a single mom, then go ahead and use that language. But if you are a woman who has child and the father is not present, stop affirming that you're a single mom. You are a mom who happens to be single. Because you realize, yes, I am a sinner. That is the worst one. Thank you, NYE. Thank you. I am a sinner is the worst one that religion taught you to accept. They told you straight out the gates, the moment you came out of your mother's womb, you were a sinner. I am a sinner. Amazing grace, I'll speak to someone and say they're a wretch like me. I'm a wretch. That's what they teach you in these places. They teach you as a child of God, you are a wretch. And here's how you know I'm a sinner is not true. Go get the youngest child in your family. Okay? Hold them. Little 7-month-old, hold them and look them in the eye and say, you are a sinner. Try calling them a sinner 100 times. You are a sinner. You are a sinner. You will not get to number 10 without you having to put them down because you know it's not true. The only identity that is ever true of you and is permanent is that you are a child of God. I don't care if you're a procrastinator. I don't care if you're a murderer. I don't care if you lied. I don't care if you're a cheater. I don't care if you've done any of those things. Those are not your identity. The only identity that holds true, no matter what, is that you are a child of God. Because all of those are behaviors that can be changed. But your identity, your true identity as a child of God can never be changed. We already know this from the story of the prodigal son. The father was waiting with open arms for the son, the prodigal son, to come back. The father did not look at what the son had done, how the son had squandered the money, did not look at the behavior. He knew that the root of it was that the child had lost its sense of identity. Therefore, the behaviors came out of that false sense of identity. If these churches and religions told you that you were a child of God and not a sinner, then perhaps we'd have less murder. Perhaps we'd have less theft. Perhaps we'd have less violence because your identity, your being, shapes your doing, and your doing shapes your having. But if I've been in a church my entire life and they keep affirming every Sunday that I'm a sinner, then guess what? If my being is a sinner, then my doing is going to be a sinner, and then I'm going to have the results of a sinner. Even Jesus says in John 10:34, is it not written in your law, I have said ye are gods? Not God in a capital G sense, but God in a lowercase g, that I am an offspring of God, that is my mother, father, that I come from. So I am is critical. And if you hear yourself, you probably say I am more frequently than you know throughout the day. Somebody greets you today when you go to work. I'm tired. I'm so busy. Right? So how many of you catch yourself saying those things? I'm tired. I'm busy. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Oh, so angry. Watch your words. This is why this week I told y'all to shut up out of love. I told y'all to shut up out of love because your own word shall not return to you void. And some of you are cursing your own lives with your own words. And you can't even see how it's returning back to you because you don't fully understand or believe in the law of cause and effect. You believe the law of cause and effect in the physical realm. If I take this bottle and I hit it, you know that it's going to fall over and the water's going to spill. You believe it in the physical realm, but you can't see it in the unseen realm, in the ethereal realm, in the spiritual realm. But it is happening. And it is not only is it happening in the spiritual realm, it is materializing in the physical realm for you. Because we know that heaven is your mental experience of life, and then earth is your material experience of life. And then you're wondering why these things are showing up in your material experience of life. Guess what we have to evaluate? As above, so below, we need to go evaluate what's happening up here in heaven. What's happening in your mind that could have created that situation or that experience? All right. So Reverend Ike said, I am is God. Okay. Exodus 3:13-15 confirms that. God said, tell Moses to tell, what should I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. That's what Moses is supposed to say to the people, to the Israelites, who God is. I am that I am, right? You notice that God does not put anything after I am. God is circular. I am that I am. See, the moment you put on an identity onto yourself, I am a Democrat. I am black. I am a woman. I am heterosexual. I am middle class. The moment you put an identity after that is other than I am, guess what, family? You actually limit yourself. You've actually, with each identity and label that you use to describe yourself in your Instagram bios and your written bios on your website, each identity that you use, you actually limit yourself, and you actually are creating a smaller and smaller box for yourself with every label and identity that you see. Now, you've introduced yourself, you meet somebody brand new. It could have been infinite possibilities, okay? But now you put yourself in a box, you said, I am a lawyer. Now that person's perception of what a lawyer is now projected upon you, and now you are in a box. You put yourself in a box using your own tongue. when I am in interviews, I say, above all else, I am a child of God, first and foremost. That is my identity. Now, from that, I also happen to be a real estate investor, a real estate educator, a real estate developer, published author, speaker, etc. But I start with my highest identity first, because guess what? All those other identities that are a big part of who I am, they can all be changed like that. They can all be changed like that. They may seem permanent, but 10 years from now, God may have a different call for my life. And guess what? I will happily sacrifice those lower identities for whatever God has called me to do in that moment. So the most powerful thing, in addition to I am a child of God, is I want to click the book now. The most powerful thing, in addition to I am a child of God, is I am that I am. I am that I am. Now, if you say that to somebody in public, they're gonna be confused. They're like, "What? I asked you a question. You saying I am that I am?" They're gonna be so confused, right? But what you're saying is that there are no limits on who I can be. In this moment, I am a father, I'm a husband, I'm this, I'm that. In this moment, I am that. Okay. But when you meet me next week, I may be somebody different. And it's not me being bipolar, it's not me being schizophrenic, it's me being here and now in the moment. Because we know that the kingdom is in the midst. The kingdom is here and now. Luke 17:21, the kingdom is here and now. It is in this moment. So you may have met me in a specific space and identity, but that is not all of who I am. And I never want you to get confused that that is all of who I am and that is a permanent state. This is who I am right now. But I can tap into unlimited possibilities. That's how powerful I am. So I want you to be very careful when you say I am, because you are literally shaping not only your own identity in your mind, but you are now shaping that identity for the people that you're saying it to. And you're actually limiting yourself, because God is unlimited. So as children of God, guess what that means? We're also unlimited unless we start to use these limiting labels to define who we are. Right? I'm picking the book back up now. That's a good one. I am a chameleon. Not that I'm hiding, right? But that I can be anything. I have the power to be anything. All right? We're on the top of page 173. Vain means no good. So we're talking about using the Lord's name in vain. Vain means to no good purpose or emptiness of speech. Examples include I am sad, I'm tired, I'm ugly, I'm broke, I'm sick. Many of you this winter season said, "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm sick." When you said I'm sick, do you realize you were using the Lord's name in vain? Here's why: because you were made perfect, whole, and complete. Sick is just a temporary state of being. Okay? It's a temporary state of being. It is what is happening in this moment, but that is not who you are. I feel sick may be more accurate, but you are not sick. I feel sick. I am coughing. That may be true, but you are not sick. And you may think that this is just semantics, but if you see how it plays out in your life, if you were able to have a God's eye view of your life and see how your word is actually playing out, how it is never returning to you void, you would be more mindful of your words. I am not enough. I am stupid. I am angry. None of these statements help you return to your true self. In the moment, it may be accurate to say I feel tired rather than I am tired. I'm just encouraging you to be mindful of how you speak about yourself to yourself. I don't care about how other people think about you or what they say about you. What matters is what you say about yourself to yourself. It is you and your highest self having a conversation all the time. And that dialogue is actually what's shaping your life. Nobody talking about you has more power over you than how you talk about yourself. I don't care who's hating on you, family. I don't care who's gossiping about you. Unless you believe what they say, then what they say has no power over you, or at least it is not as powerful as your own word over your own life. You have elders in the church or whatnot speak a word over your life and it just doesn't resonate. Guess what? Brush it off. You go get a reading in 90% of it resonates and 10% didn't, guess what? Brush it off. Because nobody's word has more power over you than your own word. In Luke 22:70, Pontius Pilate had Jesus on public trial, and it reads, so they all asked, are you the Son of God? And you want to know what Jesus replied? He replied, you say that I am. Notice that even though Jesus used the I am for himself throughout the Gospels, when someone else tried to put words in his mouth and define him, he spewed them out by saying, you say that I am. He said that you say that I am. That's what you say. I just want to let you know those are not my words. That's what you say that I am. And I'm going to just make that clear. I'm not accepting your identity of me. Your perception of me, I am not receiving that. Only I define my identity. Your third grade teacher told you were stupid, that you wouldn't amount to anything. That is what you say that I am. I don't care what you think. All that matters is how I think about myself. Your ex said that you were going to be alone forever. That's what you say that I am. And guess what? That has no implication on my life. Your boss said you'll never make it in this industry or this company. That's what you say that I am. I spew that out. Okay? What you think about me and what you say about me has no indication of who I'm going to become. Our word and self-image is the only thing that matters, whether someone else is seeking to build us up or break us down with their words. It doesn't matter what other people think or say about you. All that matters is what you think and say you are. Who you think and say you are. So I wanna catch this, y'all. Listen, even when someone else builds you up with their word, you don't want to give them too much power. Because if someone builds you up with their word, guess what they can do? Guess what they can also do? That person has now put you on a pedestal and can tear you down. So it's not just about somebody speaking negatively about you. It is also about not letting your head get inflated when somebody else is speaking things about you, even in the positive. Because at the end of the day, the only word that matters is your word. The only word that matters is your word. Oh, you're so talented. You are amazing. You're incredible. Okay? You can say, oh man, that's nice. But the question, listen to me. The question becomes, do I feel I'm incredible? Do I feel I'm talented? Do I think I am amazing? So this is not just about brushing off negative words, but even positive. Because at the end of the day, you may take that positive and say, that if that positive brings you to the realization that I actually am incredible, I actually am talented, I actually am amazing. If that positive word brings you to that state of awareness, then that's great. But the ultimate state of awareness has to reside in you, not in somebody else's word. The ultimate state of awareness has to reside and come from you, not somebody else's word. Because we've seen it in Hollywood. A lot of people, fans may project, you're so talented, you're amazing. But deep down inside that celebrity, they don't feel that way. They don't actually believe it. Despite thousands and thousands of people believing that for them, the only word that matters is your own word about yourself. So again, if we can hear somebody say something positive about us, and then ultimately we can internalize it. So we don't give somebody power because they affirmed us, because now they can use the positivity, right, to actually start to influence us. And they actually can be telling you that because they know that you actually have self-doubt. The true source has to come from you. You have to come. The awareness of I am incredible, I am amazing, I am talented, I am gifted has to come from you. We never want to rely on an outside source. Okay? So outside sources. There are rare occasions when we need an outside source. Okay? A car sometimes needs a jump, right, from another car. A heart sometimes needs a defibrillator to get started. Those are two scenarios with a heart and a car where you need something outside of yourself to get restarted. So when somebody affirms you in the positive, you can use that temporarily to activate your own self, get your engine started again, to get your heart beating again. But we never want to rely on the defibrillator or the car jump. You understand that? It's a subtle difference. We can use it to get jump started and be reminded of who we are, but we never want to depend on or rely on it, even if it's a positive word. Is that clear? It's a very subtle distinction, but I want to make that clear. Okay? All that matters is what you say about yourself. And guess what? Even when your word about yourself is not high, the next question to always ask is, how does God see me? One of my favorite Kendrick Lamar songs said, I hope you see the God in me. I hope you can see it. Right? I hope you see the God in me. The question is, do we see the God in ourselves? How does God see me? Yeah, I just made a mistake. But how does God see me in this moment? All right. So again, we're talking about the power of I am, and we're on the bottom of page 173. All right. The last paragraph on page 173. You remain as God created you, no matter what additional identifiers you add onto yourself with I am. You are not a sinner. You are not broke. You are not poor. You are not sick. You are not inadequate. You are not a doctor. You are not a teacher. You are not a Christian. You are not a Muslim. You are not black. You are not white. You are not a Democrat. You are not a Republican. You are not a man. You are not a woman. God does not see you as any of these things. God does not see you as any of these earthly labels. It only knows you as its child, and it doesn't care what you choose in terms of your limiting labels. All of the above are temporary titles or fleeting feelings that won't last beyond this earthly experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. God is spirit, so God only sees us as spirit, as its offspring, as its children. All these other earthly labels, they are temporary, and they do not define who you are. God doesn't care about your political party. God does not care about your gender. God does not care about your class. God does not care about your education level. God does not care about your religion. God only sees you as its offspring, as spirit. Period. Who you truly are is permanent. It never changes. Knowing who you are, not only knowing who you are not, helps you understand who you are. When you don't know who you are, anyone can call you anything and you react. A lot of people get caught up trying to prove others wrong. Listen to this. This is how some of us react. They called you stupid. And what did you go do? You went and took that, trying to prove other people wrong. You went and got 4 college degrees. Now who's the fool? So now you in how much debt? Because somebody called you stupid, whether it was your parents, whether it was a teacher, whether it was your friends, you took that in, right? You internalized that, and to prove them wrong, now you went and got all this education. Now you got more degrees than juvenile. You got more college degrees than juvenile, all because somebody called you stupid. Somebody outside of yourself. You didn't believe you were stupid up until that moment you actually ate what they said and ingested it and took it in and embraced it. Now you got more degrees than juvenile. Juvenile got 400 degrees. Some of y'all got 410 degrees. All because somebody called you stupid and you made it your mission to prove them wrong. So now you're the one in student debt, trying to prove other people wrong who they're not even thinking about you, family. They're not even thinking about you. It was you accepting the identity. Oh, I might be stupid. So now I need to prove to all these people that I'm not stupid. and now they ain't even worried about you. They called you ugly, and now you buying all these beauty products. Somebody called you ugly when you were in elementary school, junior high school, and now you've been fixated on manipulating your body and doing all these things to prove to that fifth grader that you're not ugly. You don't even know the name of the fifth grader. And actually, some of y'all remember the name. Some of y'all remember the name of the fifth grader who called you ugly. And now your whole life, what, fifth grade, you were how old? Fifth grade, you like 10? Your whole life, decades later, you're still trying to prove that you're not ugly with all these external things. So now you built the whole beauty industry trying to prove that you're not ugly. They call you broke. So now you go buy things that make you look rich. So those things actually make you even more broke. So somebody called you stupid. You went and got all this education. Now you're in student debt. Now you look stupid. Somebody called you ugly. Now you buy all these beauty products. You manipulate your body in all kinds of ways. Now you even look uglier. Somebody called you poor. So now you buy all these things to look rich. And all those things you bought now actually make you more poor. This is why you don't care what other people think. You do not want to spend your entire life trying to prove other people wrong. Because in fact, you will prove their point because it will circle back. They call you lazy, and now you work for them twice as hard. You making them rich. They call you a sinner, and what do? You go get saved. No one's word has power over you unless you accept it or react to it. No one's word has power over you unless you accept it or react to it. It's not the power of you said. It's not the power of he said. It's not the power of she said. It's the power of I am. I don't care what he said. I don't care what she said. What they said has no power over me. No one's word has power over you unless you accept it or react to it. Last paragraph, page 174. You only have to prove yourself right to yourself by having integrity with your own word. Everything you say is already coming to pass, whether you are aware of it or not. But integrity and deliberate creation is when whatever you deliberately say comes to pass. You can state how you temporarily feel without living in a state of negative feeling. For example, you can state that you feel angry without dwelling in anger. Whatever house, listen to me, house in the Bible represents what? House in the Bible represents what, family? House in the Bible represents a mental state. Tent in the Bible represents a temporary mental state. Okay? So listen to this. This is why a house divided against itself cannot stand. That's not talking about a physical house. It's talking about a mind that is divided cannot stand. When you have incongruent thoughts, I want to be rich, but I hate rich people, that is a house divided against itself. My father's house has many rooms. That means that my father's house, my father's mansion, represents all of consciousness. My father's house encompasses everything. That's why my father's house has many rooms. It's not a mansion up in the sky where heaven is. These are allegories, these are parables, these are metaphors. My father's house it represents all of consciousness. It has many rooms. Any room you can think of, my father's house has. It represents all possibilities. It's like all things are possible. So, house represents mind, right? Whatever house you frequent, listen, whatever house or mental state that you frequent becomes your primary residence or dwelling. Whatever house or mental state you frequent becomes your primary residence or dwelling. In the same way, whatever you feel, whatever feeling you dwell on frequently become your frequency. Whatever feeling you dwell, as in live in, frequently, ultimately becomes your frequency. It represents the vibration that you are sending out. But knowing the truth of who you are shall set you free. This is the power of I am affirmation. because they affirm the truth of who you are, even if you are temporarily experiencing the opposite. So I can affirm that I am rich, even if my external environment is showing me poverty. And in fact, the only way for me to get out of poverty is to recognize that I am rich from within. The only way to get out of poverty is to recognize how rich I am within. And we love these rags to riches stories. Those rags to riches stories are somebody who saw poverty and said, this is not who I am. Just because I see poverty as my current circumstance does not mean that I am poor. And so in order to get out of this state and change this external state around me, this circumstance, I have to not only recognize that I am rich, right? I have to accept that identity, then my being chase my doing, and my doing chase my having. This is how you get a rags to riches story. This is the power of I am affirmation, because they affirm the truth of who you are, even if you are temporarily experiencing the opposite. You will learn how to affirm yourself using I am affirmation and money commandment number 5.
All right. This concludes day 19. Day 19 is officially in the books. What are your takeaways? The power of I am. What are your takeaways? There's a section in here he discussed about what people say around you. That always irks me, because there are some people that say negative things around me, and I'd rather not them say them at all, and I try to shut it down. But reading this scripture here today just brought it to my attention that I do not need to give them power based on what they say about me or what they say, because only what matters is what I say about me. So that's something I'm going to be working on this week. That's my big takeaway. Let me know what your takeaways are. We just finished day 19. Day 19 is officially in the books. If you do not have the book, make sure you go ahead and check the link in the description section. Go ahead and get you a book, man. We're still on the 100-day challenge, reading of the rich and righteous. This book will still benefit you. Go ahead and grab your book. Even after the 100-day challenge, this book is going to be golden. If you like the reading, which I'm sure you do, make sure you go ahead and like and share to some of your family and friends so they too can learn to be rich and righteous and reprogram their minds to attract more money. Tomorrow we'll be going into day 20. We're still on money commandment number 4. Tomorrow will be the last section of money commandment number 4, how the rich and righteous speak about money. So how we speak about ourselves, how other people speak about us, using the right words, how our words create worlds, the power of I am. So looking forward to finishing the last section of money commandment number 4. But once again, this concludes day 19. Day 19 is officially in the books. Make sure you document those takeaways, and see y'all tomorrow on the next reading. Salute.